Hello, my hyper obsessed freaks. This is a new way of content that I'm making. I don't like this reflection within my eyes with my glasses. Anyways, I've never done a podcast before, but I want to try something different in the way I make my content, because the content I've always made has been like me filming on my phone, and then I don't really post it. Like, I've had editing done with a couple of them, but I've never really posted it though. So this is actually one of like the very first things I'm gonna add to my content on my YouTube channel, and then also on Spotify. I will get on Apple Music or whatever. I swear to God, like, just give me time. Anyways, this is gonna be my first episode of it. This is like us entering the new year, my first episode of the year. I really hope this like continues to happen throughout the year, because I have so many good ideas. I even have notes. So I did a lot of research and a lot of notes for this, because I really want it to be thorough and enjoyable for you guys to listen to. Anyways, when did we guys turn into a brand? Like, nowadays it's just been rebrand this, rebrand that. Like, every year was new year, new me type shit, you know. But like, now we're just trying to recreate ourselves, I guess, into this like idea of a brand, you know. And it's like really confusing to me, because I've never really understood it. After it like came out and blew up, I guess, I've just been watching videos and stuff like that of, oh, this is my rebrand this year. Oh, this is the air I'm gonna put out for this year, or this is the aesthetic I'm gonna focus on this year. Never got it. TBH and GL. For me, this podcast is not a rebrand of myself to like, oh, I'm gonna be a podcaster, I'm gonna be a person with a mic. No. This came from like an idea I've always had. Sorry, like, I'm laughing and then the fucking computer shakes and it's really funny. I will get better equipment one day. Please, just bear with me. Fuck. But this podcast did not come out of like, oh, I'm gonna recreate myself, I will be a content creator now, like, I'm gonna post and stuff like that, and like put out this image of me being this like super intelligent person. Like, this was more of a creative spark I've had for a while already, but I've never really indulged in it. So this came from, you know, just my creativeness. This is not for me to look performative or anything. This is just a creative spark, which I will really get into in like the second episode, because that's really shows how the spark happened and how we got to point A. But yeah, this is my intro, and we're gonna continue from here on out, you know. So what this podcast entails overall is hyperfixations. I've always been a hyperfixated person who like really obsesses over things, and I understand being able to like enjoy things. I've always been able to enjoy things and like things and stuff like that. But if you guys see my background, you can see like fontaines all over my fucking wall and like rock music all over my walls. Sorry if they look like janky. I have not been in my house in like a week. But sometimes when things really grip my balls, I really dive deep. I do so much research. I like spend hours just trying to figure things out, what they mean, what they are, what the timeline looks like. So I really like to learn things, and on top of that, I learn things that I really shouldn't be knowing. So it's really interesting for me to like sit down and really dive deep into very interesting topics. And like, I'm not going to give examples, because a lot of what I'm going to talk about for this podcast is just going to be things I already like. So I'm just going to like yap about shit I already know about. But yeah, this is why it's called Fixated with me, Jackie. So this is just like me really talking it out and really showing and like what my thought process looks like, because it's very complex for me to like do things. And that's why I'm like reading off this kind of like script thing, for me to really dive deep and be a detailed person, to like really show you guys what interests me, what these things are, just if you just want to fucking know random shit, you know. But isn't like the world hyperfixation, like, oh, what's the next trend, what's the next thing, you know. These are my things, and some stuff is like really fucking weird. Like, I dove deep into Christopher Nolan's movie Oppenheimer. Girl, I know stuff I should not be knowing from that shit. I read the book. I don't know. I don't think people took it that far, but I did, and I watched the movie 3 times already. Really good movie. Anyways, that's one of my things. But these are things I really dive into. I was gonna put like what hyperfixation fucking means. I did not do fully my research. It was 4 a.m, and then I kind of just had a really long day, and I was like, fuck, I need a film. So I will do like an insert blurb right here for the people watching on YouTube. Right here is gonna be what hyperfixation means, and then, you know, this is why this podcast is called that. So this is just my thought process for overall. This is just how it's gonna go with this fucking podcast. But today's topic is rebranding. What is rebranding? What the hell is this? Where did it come from? I'm not really gonna talk about where it came from because I don't know. I can give you guys like a quick little thing that I like figured out and like some research notes, but these are kind of like what I'm thinking about and why I'm questioning this. So like, I don't understand rebranding, because it's like, instead of creating growth and improvements, like new year, new me, new goals, stuff like that, we have this like idea now of like what we perceive ourselves to our peers, and like the way people look at us instead of how we look ourselves, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. Because now it isn't for like, these improvements isn't for internal growth, it's more of like an aesthetic and like external growth, I guess. Because it's just like, I'm not gonna keep on saying like here. I already say it a lot in real life. I feel like this has now just become a performance for other people, and I don't understand why we got to do that. Like, I really don't. Every year I've had this tradition, I guess, of doing a what is it called again? Like a vision board. Yes, a vision board. I do it almost every year. I've done it for several years already, and I always put what I want throughout the year, what I hope for, what I aspire to be throughout the year, and it's for the year. It isn't for a lifetime. I don't have a bucket list for my entire life. My vision board is my bucket list for my overall year and what I want to do and what I want to grow on. If you guys hear me talking like really weird or like really fast and say like random shit, bear with me, please. Anyways, so it's more of like this new rebranding thing is giving ourselves an aesthetic to like really focus on. Like, I'm gonna be a clean girl, I'm gonna be an alt girl, or of course I'm doing like girl stuff. I'm gonna be a gym baddie, I'm gonna be this and this, and this is the aesthetic I'm gonna come off of. I'm gonna buy all these clothes to really perform myself out there and be this person. But like, we end up dumping that shit just like every year by the time it's fucking February, you know? So we kind of forget that those are like our aspirations, I guess, or our goals. But now it's like, this is our new aesthetic for the year, for us to get to look the same. Like, is that really what we want to do, is look the same among each other, you know? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, because if we all tend to have the same type of algorithm, and like, I'm gonna go back to like Stranger Things on this shit, like the same hive mind between ourselves, and look at the same type of content, we're all just going to end up looking the same, you know? So I just think, like, why can't we just be ourselves and make, like, internal improvements rather than, oh, I'm doing this for an external improvement just so people can look at me, you know? Is this like for a brand? Are you becoming a brand? Are you just following the algorithm, you know, of us now being so performative that online we have to look this way? This is the aesthetic for my Instagram account, for my TikTok account. I'm going to make more thirst traps. Oh, this is the type of vibe and songs I'm just going to put on my Instagram. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Because I've always been able to, like, be myself, I guess, quote unquote, and, like, listen to various types of music, watch different types of shows and movies and stuff like that, and, like, really indulge myself in, like, different genres and cultures to, like, understand different things. But I don't know why we have to give ourselves a vibe for people to look at us. Oh yeah, that's that one girl that looks this and this way. Or that's that one guy that just does this, and this. Like, that's a finance bro, or, like, some shit like that. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Because I'm like, well, just be yourself. Your various things make you, you know? And, like, so many things, like, influence us that isn't just one thing, you know? So to me, it's, like, confusing, because are these improvements for you or for everyone else? Like, are we following the algorithm, or are we making these improvements for ourselves, you know? Because I don't know the thought process of doing that, because I'm not rebranding myself whatsoever, because that doesn't make sense to me. And, like, I do understand that every year we get, like, a clean slate. We don't really end up following it, period. But do we just convince ourselves that that's what we need to make this growth? You know, like, do we really need to convince ourselves that, oh, we need these goals to feel fulfillment, you know? Like, for the year specifically. Because I know there's lifetime goals where you can make and you can feel fulfilled. Sorry, I'm, like, burping a lot because I ate. Like, oh yeah, we have, like, lifetime goals that we make for us to feel fulfilled throughout our lives. Like, at my age, my fulfillment is to graduate college, right? Or have a successful career, right? Or continue the avenue of my career or my academics, or what my future is going to look like. I'm in my 20s now. I just started my 20s. So the next step is career, and then a house, and then kids, and then a car, or some shit like that, right? By the time I'm 30, I need fulfillment with a family and a career by then. And so the next step is to continue to have those things and have that sustainable aspect in my life, right? Because if I lose it, I feel unfulfilled. And if I keep it going and I keep advancing from those things, I feel fulfilled. By the time I'm 40, I just want to have all my kids to be grown up, have a good career, and retire as soon as I can. 40 to 50 years old, that's your next fulfillment in life. Of course, this is, like, all Erickson's life stages, but we have those lifetime goals. And so for us to really improve, we need yearly goals to minimize those things and not focus on the big picture lifetime goals, for us to shrink up and to really focus on the now, right? So what's with this rebrand of, instead of making goals that really make improvements, why are we rebranding, quote unquote, and making it seem that we are doing those improvements when we're really not, you know? So to me, it just feels very hollow, just very content creatory influencer. Like, is that what everyone wants to be these days? Like an influencer with money, going to paid trips and stuff like that, and just like not really being a person, I guess. Like, to me, it's just very confusing. And of course, I'm yapping about this, but I'm no life coach. I am no one to judge for someone actually doing this. I applaud you for having this idea or having these aesthetic improvements for yourself. But I just really want to understand this new gimmick of, are we really making these changes? Is this for external improvement, or is this for internal improvement? Like, does the external improvements then lead to internal improvements, Like, does me having a new wardrobe or having a new aesthetic improve me internally of being confident or being just better with myself in the way that I look aesthetically, so I can have this better self-worth, Like, is that why these improvements are being made, right? So I did a little bit of research, just a tad bit, and I kind of chatted this up as well because, again, I don't have much time in my hands. My time is very shrunk. So, oh my God, if I do mouth clicks on this shit, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind because I've been doing that a lot. So please, if you guys hear any of my, I guess, tics and my stems and stuff like that, please, for the love of God, don't judge me on it. Anyways, I did some research. So there is research that kind of points into that social media platforms itself is not fixed. It becomes a performance later on. So just like how you go on Instagram and you want to post something and you're like, oh, I don't want to post it now because it's not going to look this and this. I'm going to look chalant, or I'm not going to look nonchalant, like, you don't post it because then it becomes a social performance for everyone else around you, right? So if you post something that's different, that makes you look more aesthetic and more nonchalant, let's say, you're giving off this idea that you're this person to other people because that's what they look at online, right? And so there is other research and articles that really point into why this rebrand isn't really healthy for people, but it is beneficial in some aspects, One of them being that people are really wanting to glow up this year. Girl, what are you doing? There's like glow up guides that really center around approval of others. Oh, I need to have better skin. I need to look better. I need a sharp jawline. Girl, I don't even have a sharp jawline. You can see my double chin right here. Like I need sharper cheekbones. I need more piercings. I need more of this. I need more of that. To have approval from other people that you look, or like your looks maxing, to really make that change. But it isn't for an internal reason. It's because you want to look pretty aesthetically. And it isn't for, oh, because if I do this, I'll be more confident with myself. No. Sometimes it's for like, oh, I want to do this for a guy, or I want to do this for like fucking, oh yeah, do this for a guy, or like to like pull more guys or some shit like that. Like, or I want to pull more girls. I need the huzz or some shit like that. If this isn't for like an internal change, it isn't because I do this, I'm going to feel more confident with myself. It's more of, I do this, girl, I'm better than everyone else. It's just that ego thing, I think, I sometimes question if I don't even have an ego, but that's not true, I think. I don't know. I don't know. Here is another point, is that research from students identity study that personal branding can increase confidence. Yes, it can increase your confidence by rebranding yourself to look this way so you can give off this aesthetic. It could be your true aesthetic, or it could be something you're not. That's the tricky part. If you are doing this to really put yourself out there and brand your personality, this is where it boosts your confidence and people are able to see you, and you become a brand. And you are now confident enough to really be like, fuck, people think I'm funny. Fuck, people think I'm beautiful, I'm pretty. People think I look aesthetic, like I can be Blueprint. But there's a tricky part when it comes to that, because then there becomes this pressure of being perfect, of continuing to being this person. Because people change throughout the year, people change throughout a lifetime. So aesthetics change. So if you're going to continue to brand yourself within this personality, within this aesthetic, you get this pressure of, I need to be perfect. People are going to think I'm not doing this anymore. People are going to think I'm not this vibe anymore. You're just going to continue to do so. And it creates this tension between your image online and yourself, reality. So this then conflicts you as a person internally of, are these changes for the better? Are these changes for me or for the people? You know? And this is why I think this whole rebranding thing is no bueno. Because then people get in over their heads and they think, oh fuck, if I don't do this, if I don't look this way, people are gonna think I fucked up, or I didn't do my resolution, or I didn't go on by my rebranding. I like the rebrandings that say, I'm not going to talk to this guy, I'm not going to talk to these people, where you can really, really fucking make a change within yourself. Because I feel like the people that do that really understand the reason of this rebranding. Girl, you do not need a new closet to look different. You do not need a new haircut to look different. You do not need to have a glow up night to look different and do all this because you need to look better. Like, that's not how that works. Like, these changes need to be made. Sorry if you guys hear beeping. My laundry just got done. You do not need these changes to get more people, to get more friends, to show this part of yourself online. I sometimes I don't post much on my Instagram story. I only post like an actual post if I'm at a concert, because I don't really have much to post. If I really genuinely want to post, I go on my spam and I kind of ramble that shit and I do spam. But if I go and post on my main, like, I don't really have a reason to post on my main unless it's something cool or something I think that looks like a picture I took that I really like, or me hanging out with my friends or my birthday and stuff like that. Like, I don't really have a reason to post online. So my digital footprint is, but if you find the shit, please don't show. Like, I don't want to, like, one day be famous and then they pull out my digital footprint and I genuinely want to kill myself. Like, but here's the big but here. If I had a digital footprint like fucking Timothy Chalamet, girl, I am made for life. Like, that digital footprint, that's a footprint right there, bruh. That's a footprint. I'm telling you. Anyways. Sometimes another thing is a multiple online persona, where in different platforms you give off different aesthetics. Like Instagram, I have to look this way. TikTok, I have to look this way. What else do we use? Twitter. What else do we use? Facebook. Girl, no one uses Facebook. And TikTok and Instagram are like the top ones. But like, you have to look different on these platforms. And so you don't have like a true self anywhere online. It's just, this is the way I look in this one. This is the way I look in this one. This is not me though. Like, these things do not make you. So I think this is where all this research really shows why there's these toxic aspects of this rebranding, quote unquote. I didn't even do the quotations. But I think there is benefits to this part, and I do think that it's a new way of telling ourselves this is my year. And I think That's really what shows true commitment within people, that can really show this is their year. I will continue my tradition of my vision board, of succeeding the goal of getting to my birthday. Every year I put my birthday there. Like, I'm turning this age this year. I'm hoping to make it there. And it's always school, academics, working out, better eating, better self. Sorry, I burped. More experiences. Like, those things to me, that's meaningful, and that's what I want in life. So I'm checking my battery. But yes, those things is what motivates me to read more books, watch more movies, stuff like that. Those are things I put on my vision board to really motivate myself, and I put it in a place where I see it every fucking day. So I know that every day I wake up, this is what my goal is for this year. This is what I hope for this year. I have it over there, and I will make a video giving you guys like what I do, and then why I pick these things and stuff like that. But that's for some other day. Anyways, but those are the things I do to really, I guess, rebrand myself throughout the year and really motivate me to do those things and to wake up and be like, okay, gotta go to the gym, gotta drink more water, gotta eat better, gotta focus on my grades in my school, gotta have these new experiences with my friends, right? Have a good balance between those things and stuff like that. So to get to that point, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to talk about my quote unquote rebranding of 2026. So what I did is I kind of just wrote this big fucking paragraph. The number one thing, I guess, with my rebranding is this podcast. This being one. I want to go back to the creative spark I had when I was a kid, because I kind of pushed it away when I was in high school, mainly because COVID and everything. But I pushed it away in high school because I was like, oh, I gotta have better grades. What I did really focus on was sports and stuff like that. And I did have like opportunities to do creative things, and I did take them, but I never really focused on them as much as I wanted to. I've always been a creative little lad. I've always loved music, film, books, making things, arts and crafts. I've just always had a creative spark within me, but I've never indulged in it enough where I thought I could make something out of it. Because I always thought that my shit was way too cookie cutter. I always thought that the type of stuff I wanted was, oh, no one's gonna like it, right? So I want to be able to do that, because I feel like if I really indulge in it, I can have this fulfillment of, oh, I did that, and now I'm able to get into the career I've always wanted without feeling any guilt of me not having a creative touch, you know? So this podcast overall, I want this to be a place where I can freely talk about my thought process. I want to be able to be curious about things that I've never really indulged in. Emotional, like I'm willing to cry on camera because I'm by myself. And just overall be creative about what I want to talk about, what I want to really put out there. Because the way I structured this is my topic, and if it's a topic I need to do research on, especially instead of just yapping it up, I do a lot of research. It's part of my major, and it's part of what I've always had within me, is me really looking into these facts, these ideas, these aspects of things where I can really give you guys a really detailed experience listening to this and watching this. So I really, really want to do that. And that's why I built it in my overall conclusion, and then we closed the show. So that's why I kind of structured it like this, and I've always wanted to have something like this. And I will give a little speech of what I wrote late at night. I won't get emotional, but this is what I talked about. I want to dedicate this podcast to all the people who think that they need to be talented or a career or a dedicated audience to create something. to have some creative mind to actually create something beautiful. You don't always need that, It's not for the world or for other people, but for yourself. And this is really important to me because I always thought that I needed to create this for other people. But I'm creating this for me. I'm not creating this because other people are doing it or other people have had this similar idea. This is for me and just for me to just do my thing. It's never too late to become the person you want to be. I've always wanted to be a public figure, not to be famous, but just to put out my ideas and my crazy fuck-ass process. But it's never too late to do so. This won't be my career, but if life takes me that way, I'll take it. I will take that fucking risk. Because to me, I don't need an extravagant career. I always have plan A, plan B, plan C, because I always like to think ahead and say, hey, if this doesn't work out, I always have this to back me up. So me doing this, I have nothing to lose doing this. Maybe some of my time, but I love doing stuff like this. I love making content. I love doing crazy fucking shit and taking risks that usually someone would be like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's too much work, too much time. I'm going to do it anyways. So to me, this is a very, very passionate project. This is a very intimate project for me. And I want to put my all. I want to put my fucking badussi in this shit, And I have so many ideas and I have so much shit coming. I'll get into that later. Anyways, my number one rebrand of this year is the podcast. Another of my goals is to be my gym baddie best. I have been going to the gym for about 3 or 4 months. I genuinely feel so stronger. I feel so muscular. I feel very motivated. I feel so much better about myself as a person. And I didn't do it because, I wanna look slim and, and thick. For me, it's my friends went and did it, and I was like, wow, they look better. They feel better. I want to feel that way too. Let me do this. Let me figure this out by myself. And I did. With some help of my friends, I would go and do their gym routines. I'd go with different friends to see what they did. And I found my way on what my routine works and what really works for me, my split. And I found ways of eating better, like inspired by what they eat. And so now I feel like I'm in a really good place with myself, with my health and my physique. Right now, after a week with my parents, I don't look that good, but I'm losing all that. I don't care. Because genuinely, I feel so gluttonous when I go to my family's house. Because when I'm back home, girl, I'm a petite queen. I'm out here eating all my protein and I'm eating so many fruits, and I don't have any juice or soda at my house. I only drink water, and I just feel so. But with my family, when I'm over with them, fuck do I feel chungus, dude. Jesus Christ. Anyways, another personal goal I have is to have a better balance within my life. I want to do these projects and I want to have good grades. I want to have the focus on my career. I want to have that internship. I want to study abroad this year, especially. I want to have a job that pays me good and that I'm able to afford things that I need and that I want, especially my fucking rent. And just also have time for myself and my hobbies and personal time that I need and with my friends and stuff like that. I just need a better balance within those things so I don't feel like the world is crashing down on me. And I really hope I get that this year, because I really felt that last year, Jesus Christ. Last year was a wrecking ball for me, and I really hope this year I'm able to have a better balance within all of those things. And lastly, I want to have the personal time to really fulfill my creative spark and really just fulfill me as a person. I want to go out with my friends and do all these crazy adventures and side quests and make a shitload of memories that I truly deserve as a person. And I really do think I can get those things if I really focus on that work-life balance. And so I want to have time to like watch movies and read books and do all those things and just really fulfill my inner child and just have fun. And those are my goals for this year. My podcast, my health, better balance within my life, and just have fun. Of course, I personally like the simple things in life. I'm not big extravagant on money or anything crazy. I just really like simple things. And I just love life, honestly, and my life has been so great. Towards the end of this past year has honestly really been super fulfilling for me. Earlier last year was not so good. But I can talk about that if you guys want or some shit like that. I can talk about how my year went last year and I can go step by step. And lastly, I want to talk the future about Fixed. This podcast will be very jumpy between topics. It'll be one fucking thing and there's gonna be one other thing the next. I am willing to at least do an episode a week or every 2 weeks or maybe 2 episodes a week if I really want to. If I really dive in deep and have a lot of time on my hands, then yes, I will do multiple episodes a week. And I have a lot of topics I like to talk about. I love reading. I love watching movies and stuff, and like book adaptations are the craziest thing to me, and I love it. So that I'm gonna probably cover the Odyssey. Hints on the next episode is gonna be a gay little show. Wink wink. I'm not gonna wink. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about that. I love book adaptations and stuff like that, and reading and how things are written and stuff. Of course, movies and shows. I love watching movies. I can do movie recaps if you guys would like, or opinions. I can cover up. I think another episode idea was doing Letterboxd, because that's another goal of mine, is to really log in my hours for Letterboxd. We'll talk about that in another episode, but that's an episode idea that I'm currently writing right now. But yes, I also want to like focus on different genres within movies and like what I like within them. I'm very horror, suspense, and romance, so I'm a very polar opposite between them. And lastly, one of like the best topics about me is just my personal interest, which is crime stuff, because I really love docs and like real life events, or like crime shows. I can talk about that. There is a series I'm working on right now for this as well, leading to that. I think it's gonna be really fucking cool, because I might yap for hours on that one. And then my experience in my teens, for any teenager watching, because I really did some crazy shit in my teens. I was a very bad kid, but I made it in life where I'm in college now, and I feel very adult, and I can talk about romantic advice, I guess. I don't have much. I have enough, but not much. But yeah, these are like some topics I'm gonna have, and I really have a lot of hopes and dreams for this. I want this to be a safe haven for people to like come and just listen and like really feel connected within my humor, my stupidity, and just to be themselves and like listen to topics that they don't usually hear about, or listen to me just talk about stuff and really find themselves within these topics or within these ideas. I really want this to just be to show a better version of myself and growth throughout the year, or throughout how long this is going to be. if I really maintain this well, which I really hope I do. And so I just really wanted to scratch that creative itch in me, and I really hope it's scratched. So I can continue to have this itch in me. So yeah, just really want this project to pay off and like really feel fulfilled with myself doing it. But yeah, I hope one day I get a guest on here, like a really like popular guest, I guess. It'd be really fucking cool, you know? Like, I think it's a good fucking idea. But, what happens for real. So yeah, I really hope you guys liked this episode. I know it was just a lot of jumble. But I really hope you guys have a really good year and a really good lifelong goals and yearly goals, and have a good rebranding of yourself. And I hope life takes you the way you want it. Life doesn't control you. You control your life, and you can make those experiences happen. And it's all by taking risks, right? Whether it be so small, like cutting your hair, or so big where you move and go to a different country, or go backpacking, or do some crazy career change. You can be that person that lives 9 lives. Anyways, guys, love you guys. Stay obsessed. Stay curious. XOXO. Jackie. Bye. Boom. And I did it.